So good morning, sir, and good morning, classmates. So we are the Group 8, and the group members are Larua Richard Bryle, Maglente Natco, Montemayor Ryle, and Ugabang Alan. So our topic is all about for safe watermarks, special marks, chart symbols, and abbreviation. So next slide, please. So course is MTEC 101. Period is semifinals TTH 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Week 1, Session 1. The topic is safe watermarks, special marks, and chart symbol and abbreviations. So next slide, please. So our course outcome is demonstrate true knowledge and understanding the content, application, and intent of the safe watermarks, special marks, and chart symbols and abbreviations. So next slide, please. So our learning outcome is to refresh and obtain mastery of the rules, principles, and coverage of the safe watermarks, special marks, and chart symbols and abbreviations. So next slide, please. So these are the safe watermarks, special marks, and chart symbols and abbreviations. So safe watermarks. The safe watermark, also commonly referred to as a mid-channel buoy, fairway buoy, or sea buoy, and it is used to indicate safe water in all directions. It is also most often used to indicate the beginning of a marked channel when approaching from seaward, which is our offshore approach points. However, they may also be used at either end or along the center line of any channel to indicate the best water. So ang safe watermark is mo na siya ang used to indicate the safe water in all direction. So may gamit ana. Next slide, pre. So they can be passed on either side, although by convention they should be kept on your port hand. That way you will always be favoring the right hand side of the waterway. Next is when the water safe watermark is the seawardmost buoy or sea buoy, they are used by the navigator as the point of departure or the point of arrival when beginning or ending an offshore passage, thus marking the point between open water navigation and pilotage. Sige pre, next. So the safe watermark can be found in four basic configurations: a combination buoy, a spherical buoy, a spar buoy, or a pillar buoy. So kana sa picture is mo ni ang combination buoy. Then the second is the spherical buoy. The third is a spar buoy, and the last one is the pillar buoy. So mo na siyang nasa picture nga gishow. Sige pre, next. Markings. Safe watermarks are never numbered. However, in the Americas, they are often marked with the initials of the waterway or port to which it is associated. Some places in the world, they are often left unmarked. Next, pre. Colors. So colors marking on the safe watermark consist of red and white vertical stripe, making it fairly easy to identify during daylight hours. So ang colors is red and white with a vertical stripes. Good. See you next. The next is the top marks. So the top marks, with the exception of the spherical buoy, all other safe watermark buoy configurations will carry a top mark, which will consist of a single spare or ball. The ball or spare top mark will always be red. So nanad diri nga giingon is ang top mark is consist of a single spare or ball, and then ang color gid ana is red. Sige pre, next. Next is the light characteristics. If lighted at night or during the hours of darkness, the light phase can be either Morse code A, one short then one long flash, isophase, occulting, or long flash every 10 seconds. It will only show a white light. Morse code A is commonly found in the US, and the other light phases are common most everywhere else. So in night or during the hours of darkness, ang light phase is Morse code A, then ang iya kan ana is one short then one long flash. Then ang isophase occulting or long flash is every 10 seconds and it will only show a white light. Then Morse code A is commonly found in the US. So, mo na siya. Next slide, pre. So, this picture is all about sa safe watermark. So, di adiri na yung nakabutang nga safe watermark. Next slide. So, this report is to be followed by my other group mates. Kasi
So the above is the nautical chart notation for a safe watermark, showing a red and white vertically striped buoy with a top mark of a ball or spear, which is red. It is marked PE, and it shows a white light displaying the Morse code A, one dot and one dash. It has a radar beacon that will display a bright single dash on your radar screen. The equivalent of the Morse code letter T is one dash, and it is equipped with an AIS transponder. Next slide, please. So general remark. This publication, which chart number 1, it contains symbols and abbreviations that have been approved for use nautical charts published by the United States of America. Glossary of terms used on the charts of various nations is also included. The user should refer to DMA HTC publication number 9, American Practical Navigator, uh, Bowditch, Volume 1, for the use of the chart in the practice of navigation and more detailed information pertaining to the chart sounding datum, tides and currents, visual and audible aids to navigation, and etc. Next slide, please. So numbering. Terms, symbols, and abbreviations are numbered in accordance with a standard format approved by a 1952 resolution of the International Hydrographic Organization, which is the IHO. Although the use of IHO approved symbols and abbreviations is not mandatory, the United States has adopted many IHO approved symbols for standard use. Next slide, please. So vertical figures. Vertical figures is it indicates those items for which the symbols and abbreviations are in accordance with resolutions of IHO. So slanting figures. It also indicates those symbols for which no IHO resolution has been adopted. Slanting figures asterisk indicate IHO and US symbols which do not agree. Slanting letters in parentheses indicates that the items are in addition to those appearing in the IHO standard list of symbols and abbreviations. Next slide, please. So this is the metric charts and fathom chart. In January 1972, the United States began producing certain new nautical charts in meters. Since then, many charts have been issued with soundings and contours in meters. However, for some time to come, there will still be many charts on issue depicting sounding until its feet or fathoms. Next slide, please. So chart modernization. Chart symbols and labeling are both brought into reasonable agreement with uniform international charting standards and procedures as quickly as opportunity affords. An example of this is the trend toward using vertical type for labeling items referred to the shoreline plane at reference, and slant type for all items referred to the sounding datum. Next slide, please. So soundings. The sounding datum reference is stated in the chart title. In all cases, the unit of depth is shown in the chart title and in the border of the chart in bold type. So next slide. So the next topic will be discussed by the next reporter.
Drying heights. On rocks and banks that cover and uncover elevations are above the soundings datum as stated in the chart's title. Next slide, next slide please. Shoreline. Shoreline shows on charts represents the line of contact between the land and selected water elevation. In areas affected by tidal functions, this line contact 286 usually that mean high water line. It confined coastal waters, the mesh tidal influence, a mean water level line may be used. The shoreline of interfere waters, rivers, lakes is usually a line of representing a specified elevation above selecting datum. Shoreline is symbolized by a heavy line, A9. Next slide, please. Landmarks. A conspicuous feature on building may be shown by a landmark symbol with a descriptive label. See at 8B 36, 44, and 72. A prominent buildings that are of assistance to the mariner may be shown by actual shape as viewed from above. C30, C1, 3A, 19, 47, and 66. Legends associated with landmarks, the shown in capital letters indicate conceptus of the landmarks may be labeled conspect or conceptus. Next slide, please. Buoys. The buoyage system is used by other countries, often vary from that used by United States USA charts. Show colors, lights, and other characteristics is used for the area of the individual chart. Certain USA disputed modified reproduction charts for foreign waters may show shapes and other distinctive features that vary from those illustrated in charts. So when we say buoys is a type of object that are shown near the port, or it is uh, a light that uses for area to individual charts. Next slide, please. ILA Voyage System, International Association of Lighthouse Authorities. Maritime Voyage System combined cardinal lateral system is being implemented by nearly every maritime voyage jurisdiction worldwide as either Region A voyage, red to port, or Region B voyage, red to starboard. The terms Region A and Region B will be used to determine which type of voyage is in effect or undergoing conversation in a particular area. The major difference in the two voyage region will be the lateral marks. In Region A, they will be red to port. In Region B, they will be red to starboard. Shapes of lateral marks will be same in both regions, can to port, cone, none to starboard. Cardinal and other marks continues to follow current guidelines and may be found in both regions. Next slide, please. Aids to navigation positioning. The aids to navigation depicted on charts comprise a system consisting of fixed and floating aids with varying degrees of reliability. Therefore, prudent mariners will not rely solely a single aid to navigation, particularly a floating aid. The buoy symbol is used to indicate the approximate position of buoy body and sinker, which secures the buoy to seabed. Next slide, please. Colors are optional for characterizing various features and areas on charts. For instance, the land tint publication is gold is used to charts of National Ocean Service. However, charts the DMA shows land tint as gray. Next slide, please. Heights. Heights of lights, landmarks, structures are referred to the shoreline plane of reference. Heights of small islets or offshore rocks, which due to space limitations must be placed in the water area, are bracted. The unit of height is used shown in chart little. So may I call Cadet Maglinde to report the next slide.
So conversion scales. Depth conversion scales are provided on all charts to enable the user to work in meters, fathoms, or feet. Next is improved channels. Improved channels are shown by dashed limit lines with the depth and date of the last examination placed adjacent to the channel or in a channel tabulation. The longitude. Longitudes are referred to meridians of Greenwich. Next is the traffic separation scheme. Traffic separation scheme shows established routes to increase safety of navigation, particularly in area of high density shipping. These schemes were established by the International Maritime Organization or IMO and are described in IMO publication ships routing. So best route nga example sa traffic separation scheme is Singapore. Next slide. Names. Names on nautical charts compiled and published by the United States of America are in accordance with the principles of the Board of Geographic Names. Next is correction dates. Correction dates, the dates of new edition are shown below the lower left border of the chart. These include the date of the latest notice to mariners applied to the chart. Next is U.S. Coast Pilots Sailing Direction Light List of lights. This related publication furnish information required by the navigator that cannot be shown conveniently on the nautical chart. Next is U.S. nautical chart catalogs and indexes. These lists nautical charts, auxiliary maps, and related publication and include general information relative to the use and ordering of charts. Next is special and foreign symbols. Some differences may be observed between the symbols shown in chart number 1 and symbols shown on certain special charts and reproduction of foreign charts. A glossary of foreign terms and abbreviation is generally shown on charts on which they are used, as well as in the sailing direction. In addition, an extensive glossary is found at the back of this publication.
Sige, start.
So the next slide is the symbols and abbreviation. So next slide is the coastline. This is the symbols and abbreviation of coastline. Next is the coast features and the land. So next slide is the control points, the units, the adjective, verbs, nouns, and other words. And next slide is the ports and harbors. Next is continuation, ports and harbors. Next is the topography. Next are the buildings and structures. Next is the miscellaneous stations. Next is the lights. Next is the buoys and beacons. Next is the continuation buoys and beacons and radio and radar stations, their symbols and abbreviation. Next is the radio and radar station, fog signals, and dangers. Continuation dangers also. Next is various limits and etc. Next is the soundings, depth and depth contours and tints, and quality of bottom. Also, continuation, the quality of the bottom and tides and currents. Next is also tides and currents and compass. Next is the abbreviation of principal foreign terms, the glossary. Continuation.
So that's all. Thank you. I hope you've learned and understand the topic. This is the group 8 topic. That's all. Thank you.